being stuck in the middle of two loved ones is a really hard situation to be in when you've got this person over here who you love, who is opposed to this other person that you love. And they want you to weigh in, and it can feel like there's really no good direction to go. If you side with this person, then the other person will feel betrayed and vice versa. But if you don't do anything, both people feel betrayed. So let's dig into that today and figure out what you can do if you get stuck in that situation. I'm Stacy Rocklein, and I'm a relationship literacy coach. I help people create, strengthen, and deepen the emotional connections in their lives. So you've got, maybe it's a spouse and a parent, right? Your mom hates your husband or whatever. Or you've got a spouse and a child that aren't getting along very well. And they've set you up so that you got to pick a side, or it feels like you have to pick a side anyway. And a lot of times we do this out of fear. This is never going to have good consequences, and we'll dig into that a little bit. So when you're afraid of the person who's like the one who's got the biggest, scariest reaction, and so you decide, oh, I'll side with them because that's the worst possible scenario. Or sometimes you side with the underdog. You think that person they need a defender. They're not strong enough to weather this, so you side with them, right? The other person feels betrayed by you. And then there's the other option where you don't side with anybody. You decide that, I'm just going to stay out of it. I'm just going to not say a word. I understand where they're coming from. I understand where they're coming from. I don't want to cause a fight. And then both people feel like you betrayed them. And usually there's fear in there too, right? And a lot of times it's a fear of a relationship ending. We fear that other person's going to react and leave us. They're going to either attack, and in that way, they kind of left us in their heart space, or they're going to bail, right? They're going to straight up walk out of the relationship mentally, emotionally, or physically. So we have this fear that we're operating on, and so we don't say anything. But it's really a beautiful opportunity if you can get past the fear a little bit. Because what you're doing is you're not showing a part of yourself to the other person. So you have an opinion. You have an opinion about what's going on. And you don't have an opinion because you're a judgmental person. You have an opinion because you have values. You have values that you want to live your life by. And when you feel that icky feeling inside, when something's going on that's at odds with your values, that's an opinion, right? And saying that opinion is standing in integrity for who you are. It's letting the other person know who you are. Seeing inside of you. It doesn't feel good to really feel like you should say something, or you really feel like you should, not necessarily take sides, but, let this person know that they're right in this way, or let this person know that they're right this way. It doesn't feel good not to say something when you know you've got something in your heart to say. And especially when it's fear that's keeping you from saying it, right? Because what you're doing is, they don't have a relationship with the real you then. They have a relationship with the you that you're filtering for them, right? If they left you, they're not actually leaving you. They're leaving kind of a shell of who you are because you're not showing who you are. So I'm going to give you a question to ask yourself in this situation. When you feel a feeling like you've got an opinion that is about your values as a person, that you want to state, or you're being asked to state, or you feel you need to state, in a situation where you've got two people at odds with each other, and you don't have to pick someone's side, you can just tell them how you feel. So here's the question. If you had no fear here, you were not afraid of anything, like you had some kind of guarantee that nothing bad would happen, right? No one's going to walk away. Everybody is going to know that you love them. There's not going to be any question of that. There isn't going to be a scary reaction. If you could just take all that and put it over here for a minute, what would you say? A lot of times, if we can just entertain that possibility, like you are going to be afraid, anything can happen. Who knows if they're going to feel loved? That's probably the reality of it. But if you can just take for a second that stuff and put it over here, then what would you say in that moment? Because that is you. That's the real authentic you standing in integrity with your values inside your relationships. And that's how we become closer. That's how we get to know each other. That's how we build intimacy. And that's how we really connect, not in a false way because I'm keeping all of my stuff that I really think I need to say inside, but because I'm really showing myself to the other person. So ask yourself that question. If I wasn't afraid, if I could guarantee that everybody knew that I loved them, if I could guarantee nothing scary was going to happen, what would I share or say in this circumstance to help you when you're stuck in that situation where you've got two people that you love very much who are at odds with each other? You can do this. You can navigate this. I know you can. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate that. And if you are a woman who is really interested in moving her relationships forward, you can come join us in our Facebook group, Women Committed to Relationships, where we do weekly trainings, share resources, and give each other support and love so that we can show up and be our best selves in our relationships and create just amazing connections with the people in our lives. Okay, see you next time.